everyone. All right, well, time for a progress report here at the old Firehouse. So in the last week, you can see staging has been built up around the side of the building here and back over on this side. Staging. Hey man, how you doing? Good, thanks. So the staging here, just this staging, you can see all the way down there and all the way up here. This is probably going to be at almost $50,000 in staging to stage the whole building, which is kind of crazy, just for the staging. Not even, I mean, that's not the brickwork, that's not the roof, that's just the staging, just to install it and have it sitting there. It is what it is. So you do it once, use it for everything we need to do, the windows, the brick, the roof, the coping along the top, and then take it down. I guess the worst thing would be if you put it up and, I don't know, you only did like one thing, like you put it up just for the brick and then realized, wait, we actually need to put up staging again to redo the roof. So so this is all kind of in progress. The guys are working on the masonry, are going to start working on it. Now this is actually not too bad right here, but you can see there's a lot of spots kind of like this. These ones, this area is not too bad. Around the front was quite a bit worse. So maybe we'll go back to the front. So one of the things we were working on the last week or so was finding the right mortar that would match our existing mortar. So like this area, for instance, this is an area where we've got a lot to work on. So finding the right brick, this building was built in about 1900. So this is not a standard brick size, both in height and in length. So finding someone that could produce the correct brick size in approximately the right color for historical appropriateness, and then getting the mortar correct. So some of this mortar here, this is like a patch, and then this color. So what we realize is that this building probably has, I mean, even just in this area, we've got 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors of mortar. So trying to figure out what color is going to be, what is the most accurate for the building? What is most historically correct, because this is a building that is part of, it's a historical building, so it has to be on the exterior maintained in a way that looks right. And you know, it's also, you have to because it's historical, but you also want to because it's going to look better than if we do it, you know, if we just sort of patch in with like new looking bricks or you know, bright kind of mortar that it just doesn't look right. All right, so let's go back down this way. So we'll do a little walk around the outside and then we'll jump onto the inside. So the neighboring building here is also a brick building. It was built a couple years after the fire station, but they've over the years maintained it certainly a lot better than the Firehouse was maintained. All right, so we're gonna go around the back here. So we had some of the guys work on some stuff back here, just replacing cinders as needed. A good amount of work back in this area in the back corner. And then back around here, this whole cinder block was an addition to the original structure built in 1900s. So they built this addition on the back, and then they built this addition kind of like right here. And this is another area where you can see, I think a lot of this, and you know, if you ever look at old houses or you're thinking about buying a house, a lot of these things are deferred maintenance. It's what happens when you don't keep up with maintenance, and then it starts to compound, it starts to get worse. So clearly there was a drainage issue that wasn't addressed, and then it started to get worse and worse and worse. It started to erode down here, and you know, next thing you know, you've got a real situation. You've got a problem that's kind of, the ball starts rolling, downward spiral, snowball effect. I think since the last time we were in here, not a lot has changed. Most of the work in the last week or so has been the staging outside and the guys doing some of the brickwork. But back in here, where earlier this year you saw my cars parked, I'm working on, we're having work done getting this wall tight. You can see there's some light coming through right about there. So getting that buttoned up, getting the walls painted, the floor either epoxied or coated or something to make it look good. I gotta choose a good wall color for the back. So this whole wall, and I'm thinking this one right here in the middle, dark. So I like that nice warm wood. I like this dark, and then I think a slightly tinted clear coat on the floor is gonna look really good. And then what you're gonna see is a 1969 Mustang, a 1961 Volkswagen Bus, a 1972 Citroën, a 1996 Porsche 993 Turbo, a 993 4S, a 993 RS, and a 1955 Porsche Speedster, maybe here in the back. And on this side, it's rough right now, but I think it'll look good if we sandblast off the paint and then get this back to exposed brick. The electrical company is going to come and move the electrical service, so that's going to get relocated, and security company will come and do all the security stuff, which will be good. And now let's go upstairs. We'll go back up this way. So upstairs is kind of exciting. I told you guys, I think during one of our last episodes, that we found out that we could build on the third floor if we want to. So the third floor, I've gone up to the second, now I'm going up to the third floor. Okay. So this is the third floor up here, which you can see is kind of nice and open right now. So the problem is to actually make this a usable third floor, we would have to reinforce the whole floor in a pretty substantial way. And because of building code review, as a result of our building code review, and because of the current building codes, we would also have to put in an elevator. So that is starting to become a little cost prohibitive. That's a little bit of a bigger project than I wanted to take on. So what we're now thinking about doing is actually blowing out this floor. So in some of the working spaces down there and down over here, oops, what did I come through? Hang on one second. Just gonna start this again as a backup. And down over here, that we would actually have a nice view coming up to these large windows, these sort of windows up here, and this roof space. So that's kind of one of these things where, probably like a lot of projects, the ultimate end use of this space is to a large part dictated by a combination of building codes and budget. You know, if building code allowed us to build this out without having to put in an elevator, then it would be like, all right, well, okay, maybe we could do that. But we can't, I guess, unless this was like a single family home, which obviously it's not. So the elevator's kind of a deal breaker for me because, number one, to retrofit this old hose tower to turn it into the elevator shaft wouldn't work super well because there's not a space for a mechanical room down below. It's built on a slab. And so that would, and then we would lose this really cool space right here. I mean, it would be an elevator, but this is also really much bigger. This would be a humongous elevator, so it would just be weird. Down there is going to be the entrance to the office and to the tire kickers, classic car gallery space. So that's our entrance down there. This is the big hose tower. So we want to keep this, and that would mean then if we wanted an elevator, we'd have to build one of those, you know, kind of like, I don't know, cinder block elevator shafts or something like that. I don't think that that's going to work. I don't think that that would be a really good investment. Now, so with that said, I think although last time we were thinking about maybe using this space for maybe additional commercial rental space or something like that, I don't think that that's going to be a good option at this point. So back down to the second floor here. All right, so we're opened up here down to studs. We've got our exposed brick over on the side here. And one of the last things I told you was that we found asbestos. So we had the company come in and they made this like a whole tent. It was like a Dexter style plastic tent all in here. It was like everything was plastic. I saw a couple pictures. And so they brought this down to the, I guess, subfloor surface before the asbestos tile, or I think it's an asbestos adhesive, but in any case, that tile was put down. So now we're down here. That held things up for a little bit, but this is still looking good. Exposed brick. One of the questions that we're talking about with keeping brick exposed is wanting, on the one hand, for the building to be as environmentally friendly as possible, because it's a good thing to do, and also will save on energy, heating, and cooling costs. But that would typically mean, adding insulation and sheetrocking over the brick, which feels kind of like a shame because it looks so nice. But brick is not, exposed brick is not really good from an energy standpoint. So I'm not sure the best way to approach it, except maybe certain areas like back there, which is currently or was and will be kind of a bathroom space. Maybe in some of those areas, going ahead and sheetrocking it. And some of the areas where it would have a more significant impact on the space, leaving it exposed. But I don't know. So if this area here is going to be my office, which I kind of think it will be. I think this is where my desk will be, kind of like right over here in the corner. So I'll have a nice kind of view out the window, and you guys will probably have the camera pointed right here, so you'll be looking that way. Then I'll probably keep this roof on this area here because I need my working space to be soundproof, because otherwise it's not good for the videos. And then having the ceiling open up there. So it might look kind of like loft spaces, or like sort of an old barn, the way you've got some of mixed levels. But anyway, so this is where we're at here on the second floor, thinking about ultimately what to do on the third floor. And back down on the first floor, the first floor is going to have a combination of office space over on this side here. So over here, down in here, will be office space. These will come out and be big glass storefronts. This is back down where we were before, where we were looking before, the old hose tower. So they dry the hoses here. And no, unfortunately, there's no there's no fireman's pole. And then this area will be sort of the beginning of the conference assembly open space that continues into this area. So some of you guys who have attended the workshops I've hosted, the day trading workshops, we've done them in Las Vegas, New York, Miami. Two of the events we hosted in rooms smaller than this. And then two of them were in rooms that were bigger than this, but they were bigger than we needed. So I think this, I can visualize being a good space both for, cars hanging out here on display, part of the Tire Kickers gallery, and then also when we do host events, big screen up there, projector, my day trading screen, and then desks on the side for you guys who are wanting to learn about what it takes to be a day trader. So this is a little update here of where we're at. Project is moving slower than I wanted, and that's partly because of things with COVID and just general slowdowns and sort of some administrative things, historical, approvals, and getting building materials, and just sort of all these different little pieces it touches. But we're moving forward. Progress is being made, and stay tuned for the next update about the Firehouse. All right, thanks guys. Hope you're subscribed to the channel. If not, hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up. All right, I'll see you guys for the next episode. What's up, everyone? All right, well, if you made it to the end of this video, you must also be a tire kicker just like me. So hit that subscribe button and come over to tirekickers.com to check out some articles that I've written about some of my favorite cars, including that 23 window 1961 VW bus.